Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Jersey Nick Moto. Today we're going to talk about motorcycle traveling. But before we do that, I'm just going to let you know where we're going. I am heading up to the biker breakfast at Tramontin Harley Davidson this morning. They have it every Sunday morning from 9 to 11, weather permitting. It's a really nice dealership if you're in the area. I believe it's the oldest Harley Davidson dealership in New Jersey, and it is around some of the best riding roads in the state of New Jersey, in Northwest New Jersey. You'll see today that in Northwest New Jersey the roads are a lot more hilly and curves, and there are a lot more mountains than down in the Pine Barrens where I usually take you guys riding. So it's a really nice area up there, really nice dealership, friendly people. Check it out. Alright, so motorcycle traveling or motorcycle touring or road tripping, whatever you want to call it. I started traveling by motorcycle with my buddy Bob, I believe in 2013. I have a video up I put up a couple months ago called Why I Ride. It basically tells you how I got into riding motorcycles, so I'm not going to go through all that again, but real quick, I got my motorcycle license around 2008, 2009-ish. I think me and Bobby really started riding together around 2011, like, you know, going out for the day and stuff like that, and we kind of found out that we both basically have the same type of riding style, and we hit it off, a pretty good friendship. And he used to tell me stories about how he used to travel by motorcycle, and he had been to a lot of states on the East Coast. He did Laconia a few times, I think, and back then I think he used to camp, and he used to travel with his buddy that had stopped riding because he got a little older and his health wasn't that great. And he was telling me about how in the last few years that, you know, he hasn't done the traveling anymore and stuff like that. So also at the same time, when I first got into motorcycles, as I was, you know, going through the internet, social media and stuff like that, I came across this motorcycle photographer named Josh Kurpius. And I liked his stuff a lot. Really good photographer. I'll link him down below if you want to check him out. And at the time, back then, he was always traveling by motorcycle with his friends. And he would post a ton of pictures, and I was like, wow, you know, that looks pretty cool. I'd like to do that. And then when I found out Bobby used to travel, I said to him one day, well, you know, if you want to get back into it, I'll do some traveling with you. And he said, well, let's start out with a weekend trip. So around 2013, I believe it was, he planned a weekend trip to Skyline Drive in Virginia for us. And even today when we travel, Bobby does all the planning. He's really good at that. He'll plan the route ahead of time. He'll print out a copy of the route, and he leads, you know, 90% of the time when we're on the road. And he does it, you know, no GPS. He does it all by memory. And the only time I'll lead is if we're going someplace that looks like it's going to be pretty tricky, and we're going to need the GPS. So then I'll get up in front and lead. But for the most part, he does all the planning and the leading. So we went down to Skyline Drive for a weekend. I think we left on a Friday and came back on a Sunday, something like that. We took 81 down to, I believe Skyline Drive starts in Front Royal, rode Skyline Drive, had a great time, had great weather, spent the night in Waynesboro, and then the next day we were like, well, hell, let's go further. And I think we rode into Kentucky. So needless to say, I was hooked on traveling by motorcycle, and needless to say, that reignited this Bobby's spark for traveling by motorcycle. And from there, what started as this weekend road trip, two friends packing up their bikes and, you know, having a little fun going on a road, it turned into a goal. It turned into a goal to reach all 48 states, all of the lower 48 states in the United States by motorcycle. And as of today, our map of all the states we traveled to by motorcycle looks like this. So every year the road trips just got bigger and bigger, got longer. We knocked out the East Coast, except for Florida at that time. And he had been to many states in the East Coast, but you know, I had to knock him out, so we did that. Nashville, that became one of our favorite spots. And whenever we were in the area, we stopped in Nashville. So I think we've ridden to Nashville about 3 times. Don't ride with us to Nashville, because every time it does, it fucking pours. We're like some kind of jinx, but regardless, we have the most fun there. The first big mileage trip was South Dakota, and I remember when we told people we were going to ride out to South Dakota, we got so much hate, and people doubted us so much. And well, a lot of people don't understand the kind of traveling we do. I mean, for myself, and I think I could speak for Bobby too, like, we're not sightseers. Like, we'll stop at places, take a picture, and then leave. We're back on the road. So, but to us, the vacation is in the miles. It's in the riding. It's spending those long days on the bike and riding down the highway. That's the most fun, I think, for us. And whether it's the highway, whether it's scenic roads, we just enjoy the riding aspect to it. And a lot of people don't get that. Even people that do ride, you know, they'll tell us, oh, what are you guys doing? You ride all day, and then you go to the hotel and hang out, and then do the whole thing over the next day. Well, yeah, like that's what we enjoy to do. Well, that's what we like. I mean, people tell us, oh, well, what are you going to do for rains? Well, we're going to get wet, you know? Well, why don't you put them on a trailer? No, me personally, I didn't spend all this money on a motorcycle to put it on a trailer and pull it around the country. To me, that's not traveling by motorcycle. Nothing against anybody that does it, but I like to ride. And if I'm going to go away on my motorcycle, I'm going to go away on my motorcycle. I'm not going to put it on a trailer, hook it up to a truck, and drive it to some point and leave the truck and then ride around. No, that's not it for me. So people were telling us to do that. Then, you know, you got the assholes that tell, oh, well, you know, you'll never make it back alive. What if you hit this? What if you hit that? Well, to you, that's what I got to say to you. Everybody said we'd never make it. They said it was just too far. We were going to have to make it about halfway and turn around. Well, we made South Dakota in 3 days. That was a great trip. Beautiful scenery out there. Again, every trip I did has a video, so you can check it out. Mount Rushmore, Iron Mountain Road. That was just a beautiful area, South Dakota. And I think it was once we did that trip, and you know, we went halfway across the country, that's when we both knew it. All right, we could do this. We could hit 48 states by motorcycle. It's just going to take us time, because you know, we work together, so we have to coordinate our vacations at the same time. We're a union shop. All our vacations go by seniority, and he has 30 years, I have about 13, so that could get tricky sometimes, but we always manage to get 2 weeks off together in June. That's why we're always on kind of a time limit too. That's why we try and put in a lot of big mileage days. So the next year we did California. We do California the next year? Yeah, next year I believe was California. And again, we got all the haters. Oh, you're never going to do it. Blah, blah, blah. You guys are crazy. You're going to have to ride through the desert. It's impossible. Yeah, it's basic negative shit, but we did it. And when I tell you that was the trip of a lifetime, man, it was amazing. I will never forget the feeling of getting out of that desert. It was about 115 degrees when we were crossing through the desert in Arizona. And then all of a sudden we got into California and we started hitting the mountains, and the temperature went down about 20 degrees or even more. It dropped probably about 35 degrees. And we were coming through the mountains, and man, that's something I will never forget.
Drive 2.4 miles.
It was just beautiful. And then we got in, we hit San Diego right around rush hour, rode straight down to our hotel right on the beach, and that's something I'm so proud of that we got to do, so happy that we got to do it together, and that is a trip I will never forget, from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. And if you have not been out to San Diego, California, you got to put that on your bucket list, whether it's by motorcycle, by car, or on a plane, because it is absolutely beautiful out there. If I had the money to live in Southern California, that's where I would live. I wanted to move right into that hotel room and never leave. Then after California, the next year we did Colorado, checked off a bunch of new states on the way that we hadn't hit yet. That was another cool trip. And then we realized, all right, we did all these states and somehow we've missed Florida. So that's what we did last year. Last year we kind of took a break. We rode down to Nashville, spent a couple days there. Then we rode down and did the whole state of Florida. Came in through the Panhandle. We went down, we visited Bobby's sister down in Venice. And we visited my cousin in Fort Myers. Went all the way down to Key West, checked that out. Came all the way up the East Coast and went home. So last year was a 4,000 mile trip, so we kind of took it easy. And then this year, I'm not going to tell you where we're going this year, I'll tell you that in another video, but I will tell you we are leaving on June 14th, so stay tuned to videos leading up to that, talking about where we're going, and make sure you're subscribed, because when we're on the road, I'm going to give you updates every night from the road, and then when I come home, I'm going to make a nice video or two with music about the whole trip. And now, I'm not going to lie and tell you guys that it's always easy, because it's not. I mean, we've hit our fair share of bad weather, heavy rain. I think every year, after we go through a bad rainstorm, we're like, oh wow, that's the worst rain we've ever ridden in. But then we realize we should probably stop saying that, because we always find worse rain. We've been in heavy winds going across South Dakota, really bad wind. We had to actually ride with the bike leaned over to stay straight. We hit hail a couple times. The extreme heat in the desert, which not only for us, but as you guys know, air-cooled bikes, they don't like that heat. Bad humidity, going across like Louisiana and Arkansas down there. So yeah, it's not always easy. And we've had our fair share of bad weather, close calls on the road and traffic, and people not paying attention, either texting or just switching lanes without looking. We've rolled into some not so nice areas to get gas where we really didn't feel welcome. Never really had any trouble, but you know, you get that little feeling, all right, let's gas up and get out of here. So there are a lot of challenges traveling across the country by motorcycle. But to me, the joy I get from it and the passion I have for it just outweighs it. There are not many other things in this world that make me as happy as packing up this bike and hitting the road. And it really is a great experience. I mean, the pictures I've taken over the years, the videos I've made, the memories that we'll always have, the stories that we tell over and over again, stuff that we experienced, and we just have a great time. I mean, pretty much for the whole time we're on the road, we're just making fun of each other and having fun and seeing new things. It's great. If you haven't traveled by motorcycle, I highly recommend it. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see all the road trip stuff coming up. Like I said, we're going to leave June 14th. That week leading up to it, I'll probably have videos up of showing how I have the bike packed and stuff like that. Updates from the road every day. And a video or two all edited up nice when we come home. And that's all I got for today. I'm going to shut up now and let you guys enjoy the rest of the ride up to Tramontin Harley Davidson. And hey, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what motorcycle trips you have taken, or if you got any road trips planned for this year. I'd love to hear about it. And as usual, thanks for watching. If you have not yet, hit that subscribe button. I'll see all you guys in the next video. Keep your head on the swivel out there. Enjoy the rest of this ride. Later.